you'll notice that we talk differently, and sometimes these people will pronounce words differently than I pronounce them, and they will even kind of contradict the pronunciation tips that I normally give. They speak differently. They pronounce words differently from how I teach them. And that's cool. I already knew this, of course, that people pronounce words differently in different parts of the country. But it's been eye-opening for me to see just how different pronunciations of words can be in different parts of the country. By the way, when we say that something is eye-opening, this means that something opens your eyes. It makes you see something new. It helps you realize something. So it's been eye-opening for me to hear different pronunciations of words, and I think it will help me in the future as a pronunciation teacher to be a little bit more aware of the fact that words can have pronunciations that are different from mine, even just a couple states over in the US, just in the same country, but in another state. And like I said, I already knew this, but it's been cool to experience this through these conversations and to notice this. And I'm sure some of you will notice this as well. So that's something that has been very interesting for me as well. Let me just finish by talking about how to use this podcast. So if you decide to sign up for this podcast, how should you use it? Well, first of all, it's important to know that this is much harder than my normal listening time podcast. And it's actually much harder than my advanced podcast too, because I'm talking with other people and we are talking to each other. I'm not talking to you like I am in this podcast. And we are talking completely naturally and normally. We interrupt each other. It's like a normal conversation. And this is much harder than this listening time podcast. So this will not be for everyone. And that's also one of the reasons why it's exclusive. You should sign up if you feel like you're ready for it. But even though it's not for everyone, I think that most people can benefit from it. Even if you don't feel like you have a very high level of listening yet, if you want to challenge yourself and start to get accustomed to what real conversations between native speakers sound like, then I still think you can benefit from this, even if you don't feel quite ready yet. So I just wanted to mention that because you'll notice that the US Conversations podcast is much harder. It's much more challenging. And so each conversation is about 40 or 45 minutes, or most of the conversations will be around that length. And so this type of conversation at this length will supply you with days of practice. Okay. You're going to want to spend days and days with each conversation, with each episode. Okay. Because there are going to be a lot of new words, a lot of new phrases. It's going to be hard to understand a lot of things that people say. I'll probably be easier to understand because you're accustomed to my way of speaking. But the people that I talk to, especially, will be harder to understand. you're going to want to use a lot of repetition over many days. Okay. I recommend that you listen to each conversation multiple times. And when I say multiple, it could mean many. It could mean 5 times, 6 times. Who knows? It depends on how you're feeling with the episode. I think you should try to reach a point with each episode where you can understand everything or almost everything without using the transcript. That might be hard, and you might need to lower your standard a little bit. So you might not want to understand everything, but maybe almost everything without the transcript, which can take you many repetitions. Like I said, you might need to listen 6, 7 times with and without the transcript, alternating until you can reach that point. But that's okay. This is going to be very good practice for you.